Welcome to a review of Now You See Me. It's a movie. If you haven't heard of this movie, it's about like a group of magicians that like are like almost like Robin Hood. They like try to rob banks and stuff and get. It's kind of a mystery movie in a way, but not really. I'll be right back. Sister just got home from volleyball. Anyway, back to the review. It's kind of a complicated movie, but it's good. Uh, there are these FBI agents that are hunting them down because they're like robbing banks and stuff, and they focus a lot on the FBI agents, like so much so that sometimes you wonder if like some of the way through you wonder if the magicians are the villains and the FBI agents are the good guys because they focus on the FBI agents a lot. And now, granted, any segment where they're trying to catch the magicians and the magicians are outwitting them because they always outwit them and it's hilarious. Hilarious, funny, and what do you want now?
Never mind, she took them off. Put my knee pad on her nose and I went like that.
If you can't tell, I'm making a video. Anyway, there's so much focus on the FBI agents, which is fine when they're actually tracking them. But there's one FBI agent. He's Agent Rhodes, and there's another lady from Interpol, a French lady. I don't remember what her name is, but they kind of have a romance thing going on, which seems almost kind of forced, because in the beginning they hate each other. And because there's so much going on in this movie, so there's the magicians, there's the FBI agents, there's this character played by Morgan Freeman who hosts a TV show about exposing magicians, and he's like going around filming them the whole time, basically just being a condescending butthole to the FBI agents because they keep letting the magicians get away. And then there's another guy, the British guy, played by the guy who played Alfred, the butler in Batman. And he's like this rich guy who sponsors the magicians, but then they rip him off, and because he ripped off other people with his insurance, and then they're all working for this one mystery magician who, that's the plot twist at the end, is the mystery magician, which plot twist felt kind of forced. It's like, what's the one character that wouldn't be suspected to be the magician behind it all? And they choose that character. It's kind of dumb, but they explain it well enough that it works. But another thing they kind of forget about the guy who played Alfred in Batman, they kind of forget about his character, after basically he teams up with Morgan Freeman's character to expose them, to ruin them, but then they kind of forget about him shortly after. And it's just, there's so much going on, the movie loses focus. And it's trying to focus on the FBI agents and the lady and her romance, which, by the way, what makes her character even more annoying is I can't understand her. Her accent is so strong, and there's times where she gives a paragraph of dialogue, and I'm like, she'll tell a story, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What did he say? And it kind of ruins it. I hate it when there's a character in a movie that's delivering important dialogue and you can't friggin' understand him/her because they have an accent or a funny voice. It's just annoying. And yeah, they focus on them so much. And the magicians they're kind of bland characters, to be honest. The FBI agent does become more interesting towards as you go, but he's still bland. The magicians were by far the most interesting characters, and they barely focus on them at all. They have a couple scenes where they're together and they establish their past and what their history is, except for one of them, who I don't even remember the name of because they never freaking talked about him, or he was never even with them half the time. He was purposeless. He didn't even do most of the magic tricks. He was just kind of there. But anyway, and had the movie focused more on the magicians and less on the FBI agents, I think I would have liked it a lot better. But don't get me wrong, though. I really liked it. It was a good movie. I'd recommend seeing it. Just don't think it's going to be some like, I didn't think it was as good as I thought it was going to be coming in. So, like, the commercials made it a lot more interesting because they showed more of the magicians and less of the FBI agents. So yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. What do you want now, Haley? Bye, guys.